Hey guys, this is a funny one. This is Georgie and his new ball. As you all know, he's a Syrian long-haired hamster and he's a baby. He's 3 months old. And, oh, look, see, he's going around in it. See that bubble he's in? Look at him. Rolling around, looking around, his own little bubble, his own little world. And he's a cutie though, huh? Yeah. Well, it occurred to me through observation and personal experience that we all live in our own Georgie bubble, just like this. We keep this shield around us, and inside is a soft, sweet heart. But it's covered with this, see? Keeps other people out. People are afraid of the honesty of themselves and the bubble that they created for themselves. Some people think you're crazy not to be in this wheel. Isn't that funny? It kind of makes no sense, but it does to them. It makes sense to enough of people that we have an entire culture dedicated to creating your own personal bubble that you can never get out of, that you love being in, but it's your prison. You've become imprisoned by materialism, by selfishness, disrespect, among other things. What do you suppose the engine is that drives that? Why do we have to wear these masks? Why do we have to have bubbles? There's a story about one man. It's an old story. I forgot who told it. One of those philosophers from Greece. I think it was Aristotle or Socrates or Plato. Take your pick. I don't know. Maybe it was Hume. Oh, that's who it was. It was Hume. Anyway, he had a pretty bleak view of humanity. And he's not the guy that said life is short and brutish and ugly, but there were two men. One man lived honestly and was himself all the time. He wasn't phony or pretentious. He didn't have a bubble. So, because he didn't have a bubble, he honestly didn't see other people's bubbles. He never realized until it was too late that he was bumping into people's bubbles that they didn't want to be bumped into. Pointing it out that they were in a bubble. And then there was another man who was in a bubble and led a double life. And who do you think people loved? The man who was phony outwardly, is success by the standards of the world, but lived a foul life, hurt a lot of people, committed adultery serial times, hurt a lot of people. That story from Greece comes through to this day. And you know what everybody always picks? They pick the person who's living in the same bubble as them. And that's the thing that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to the point where I'm not sure I can even go on beating anymore. Look, see, now he's in a corner. And there he goes in his bubble. But he's happy. Look how happy he is. He loves it. He's going to beg me to put him back in. And that's what happens when you take somebody out of their bubble. Yeah, they make $90,000, $110,000, $150,000 a year, and they think, boy, am I it? Look at this car I got. Those are my stinky slippers. Look at my house. In fact, look at both of my houses. No, wait, better yet, look at 5 of my houses. Some CEOs are making like $26 million or whatever, laying off 2,000 people. Crazy, huh? But that's because they've got you in the bubble. You buy everything they tell you to buy. You live the way they tell you to live. And when you wake up, they don't like it. In fact, they're cruel enough to call you mentally ill. Which is what I've been called. Actually, labeled by the state. I'm bipolar. And I'm not ashamed of that. I also have post-traumatic stress disorder. And I was in a bubble once. That's the only way I can speak about it. And I suppose I've had multiple faces. I can't wear one face for so long, though. It's usually just a half an hour act and then I'm on. Mostly, for my whole life, has been what you see is what you get. And what I've gotten has been rejection, heartache, name calling, shaming, guilt, because I don't see your bubble. And when I do, I try and help you get out of it, and you fight. You want to stay in it. So, you stay in the bubble, and you can pick the people whom you admire, because they're in the same bubble as you. And you know what? I don't envy that. In fact, it's going to be very hard for you to someday. Because someday, everybody's bubble breaks. That day is the day you die. And we all will. So you can leave nothing but a bubble left behind. Or you can leave something of value. Something that helps humanity. Instead of a check to some homeless shelter. Why don't you go there and work? Anyway. This is Theo. And Georgie. Thank you for being the illustrator. See how happy he is? He loves that. Here's the difference. He's a mammal. Oh, yeah. But he's got a brain the size of a pea. Human beings, apparently, we got loose, have these big brains and lived like this poor little mammal. Oh, good luck. I love you. Take care. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Good night. Buonanotte.